Hey there, senior leader, and welcome to the Talent Sherpa Podcast, where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. I'm your host, Jackson Lynch, and today we're going to explore a concept that's probably going to mess with your neatly drawn org chart. So if you're emotionally attached to all those tiny boxes and straight lines, you might want to grab some comfort food before we dive in. Because here's the truth that most executives don't want to say out loud. The org charts that we're comfortable with, the ones with clear reporting lines, fixed roles, tidy compartments, those charts worked great in a world that moved about the speed of dial-up internet. Today, though, business operates at warp speed. Agility isn't optional. You've got to be agile. And here's the catch, though. Most companies still organize their people for repeatability, not adaptability. And that mismatch can cause chaos when things inevitably go sideways. So today we're going to unpack a slightly different model. I call it elastic teaming. And no, it's not a fitness craze or some new yoga move to keep your employees flexible. Though honestly, some office stretching probably wouldn't hurt. Elastic teams are a way to structure your organization for maximum adaptability. Instead of bending people until they break, you build a structure that naturally flexes with shifting business needs. Now, why should you care about elastic teams? Because there's an uncomfortable truth. Rigid org charts do not scale. They break when pressure increases. They don't gracefully adapt. They just flat out crack. And if you've ever tried to scale up an organization and wonder why you keep having a problem with incumbents getting outgrown by the organization, that's why. And that creates some confusion, drop balls, burnout. Honestly, a lot of really unhappy people who spend more time venting on Slack than actually solving the problem. So let's get pragmatic. What exactly does elastic teaming look like? Well, I think there are cross-functional pods that rotate based on the shifting priorities of the business. And unlike traditional teams, which take on new initiatives without letting go of old ones, elastic teams scale smart, not hard. They absorb new work by reprioritizing what's already on their plate. Let me say that again because it's crucial. They don't just keep stacking more and more tasks on overwhelmed people. Instead, they flex. The priorities become visible and clear. Low priority projects, they naturally drop away. High priority projects draw resources and attention. Now think about how your organization typically handles a new initiative. Someone says, "This project is critical." And instantly the reaction is to throw it on the existing pile. You have teams already working at full capacity though. So who suddenly has time for that extra 10 to 20 hours a week? Guess what? Something inevitably gets shortchanged. People burn out. Your star performers start quietly dusting off their resumes. Elastic teams flip that script. When something new becomes truly important, leadership actively shifts resources around. Suddenly the message is clear. If a pod is growing, it's visible proof that this actually matters. Conversely, if a pod loses people, the business is clearly signaling the priority has shifted elsewhere. Now, this visible prioritization prevents the dreaded "everything is critical" scenario. That's a phrase, by the way, that, if we are honest, should probably be banned in every corporate office. Now, let's tackle another benefit of elastic teams. Rotation provides energy, engagement, and perspective. So here's a reality that you already know, but you probably hate to admit. Even your best people stagnate when they get stuck in static roles for too long. Your highest performers, your A players, they thrive on challenge, change, and new experiences. Keeping them in the same box for too long doesn't just waste their talent, it drains their energy. And they slowly become disengaged. And sooner or later, they'll either leave your company or mentally check out. Both scenarios are a loss that you cannot afford. But elastic teaming solves this stagnation problem very elegantly. When you rotate individuals across pods, they continuously get fresh insights. They bring new things, they learn new skills, and they broaden organizational context. Suddenly, your finance expert deeply understands operations. Now, think about the implication on that for succession planning. Your operations leader might actually even gain real empathy for the marketing department. It's been known to happen. Silos dissolve naturally, not because you scheduled another offsite to talk about teamwork and do a trust fall, but because people have walked in each other's shoes. And here's another critical point. Cross-functionality sharpens execution. When finance, operations, marketing, and talent teams all take a priority and focus on it together, they create alignment within the work itself. Which, by the way, you then reduce the need for endless follow-up meetings because alignment happens already, real time, not as an afterthought. Better decisions get made faster and execution quality skyrockets. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want fewer meetings? Now, as with any approach, there are some things to think about, some pitfalls. Elastic teams are not about throwing random people into random tasks and hoping for the best. You have to be intentional and very thoughtful. It takes real discipline to clarify outcomes. You got to communicate clearly about shifting priorities, and you have to effectively cross-train employees. Leaders need to invest the time up front to ensure that team members can rotate seamlessly without chaos. Now, I've seen companies mess this up by rotating quickly or not providing clear outcomes from each pod. Look, when that happens, elastic teaming can feel a bit more like musical chairs. It's confusing, it's chaotic, sometimes embarrassing. And that is exactly what we don't want. So you got to invest the time up front. If you do that, life gets a lot easier. So let's summarize here in case you were taking notes or mentally planning lunch during the last few minutes. Rigid org charts break under pressure. Elastic teams, on the other hand, they flex intelligently, scaling smart instead of scaling hard. They adapt to new work without overloading people. They protect top talent by preventing burnout and bring cross-functional insight to sharpen execution and build capability. And maybe my favorite part, they make the prioritization visible, ensuring that everybody knows exactly what matters most. Elastic teaming isn't just another reorg. It's a smart, pragmatic approach to remaining agile without descending into chaos. And that is a winning formula in a business environment that is anything but predictable. So here's my bottom line for you today. If you want innovation without collapse, don't stretch your people thin. Stretch the structure instead. Thanks so much for listening to the Talent Sherpa Podcast, where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. A quick shout out to one of our favorite listeners. Hi, Nikki. Hope you're enjoying your walk with your dog. Thanks for being a part of the Talent Sherpa community. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, we're every place. When you do that, it makes the algorithm share us with more people and we grow. We're growing fast, but we could even grow faster. And if you're a CHRO and you are wondering, where the heck do I start this AI journey? Don't forget to check out Propulsion AI. That's transforming how smart companies turn HR insights into powerful outcomes. And if you're a emergent or brand new CHRO ready to accelerate your impact, please head on over to talentsherpa.substack.com. We have resources specifically designed there to help you navigate, elevate, and deliver results from day one. You can also find those over at mytalentsherpa.com. So until next time, keep raising the bar, keep focusing on outcomes, and keep on flying.